Hi there and welcome to Apple World. It seems as though she is prepared to spill every single insight concerning how Jay-Z set Diddy up. She is accompanying some insane receipts. Currently, like I said, everyone knows how Jay-Z has been reputed to have been into it with Diddy. However, it looks like we were searching off base heading from the beginning. Everyone has been discussing how Jay-Z is in an alarm, since he understands what's coming at the point when all the time he has been the one behind this entire Diddy getting uncovered circumstance. The intriguing thing here is that this isn't the initial occasion when Jay-Z has been blamed for setting up a companion to ease the pressure off of himself. He has been blamed for doing likewise thing to R. Kelly, another of his dear companions who went down for being a creep currently. Remember that R. Kelly has been sentenced for various wrongdoings against individuals of color, and he remains persuaded that Jay-Z has been plotting against him from the start. Kelly even asserted that Jay-Z assumed a part in his destruction. What's more, along these lines, detainment guarantees that Jay-Z purportedly affected the hearers during his preliminary. However, that is not all, in light of the fact that, as per a source, Kelly has likewise been discussing how Jay-Z supported the excessive narrative that altogether affected the result of his preliminary. This is an incredible, unexpected development, particularly taking into account that Kelly and Jay-Z were once close, teaming up like siblings before Kelly's upsetting conduct became visible after the disclosures about R. Kelly surfaced. Jay-Z distanced himself as though their relationship had never existed, sort of like how he is presently doing with Diddy. Yet it doesn't end there, in light of the fact that Ronnie Bo, Kelly's previous jail fellow prisoner, uncovered in a meeting on Hip Hop News Uncensored that while Kelly had no strong proof, he was persuaded Jay-Z had even put a hit out on him in the mid-2000s. R. Kelly and Jay-Z were two of the greatest specialists on the planet, teaming up on two collections, The Best of the Two Universes and Incomplete Business, and they even happened to co-title A Visit Anyway. Things immediately took a turn for the most exceedingly terrible, and the two men had an extremely muddled dropping out. The circumstance came to a limit at Madison Square Nursery at the point when R. Kelly suddenly left the stage, guaranteeing that individuals in the crowd were pointing firearms at him when he endeavored to return Jay-Z's partner, despot Ty Smith, shower Kelly with pepper splash. Before the group this episode actually finished their visit, R. Kelly was eliminated from the setup and in this manner documented a $75 million claim against Jay-Z for break of agreement. Yet as per Ronnie B, R. Kelly accepted that Jay had been attempting to surpass him, particularly since Arlie was the greater star at the time. Arlie even referenced getting passing dangers before the scandalous Madison Square Nursery show in 2004, which he thought were coming from Jay-Z's camp on Jay-Z's requests. Regardless of how implausible it sounded, Arlie was persuaded that Jay-Z was on a mission to get him. Furthermore, before you all might begin discussing how Arlie is simply trying to bring Jay-Z down with him, Jaguar rightly upheld him on it in a meeting with Penetrate Morgan. Jaguar Wright affirmed that Jay-Z purportedly bankrolled the narrative that sent R. Kelly to jail. Well, in light of the fact that the Me Too development was a stratagem, it was an arrangement, it was a trick. I'm saying that at this point, Freely Dream Han led the Getting Through R. Kelly mission, which powered the Me Too mission, and that was totally supported by Sean Carter to ensure that Robert Kelly went to prison to get his lick back. For what reason is no one grasping that dream? Hampton was being funded and ran by Sean Carter. They had the option to go and get these observers since he was there with Robert Kelly. How does Jay-Z plunk down with Gil Ruler and she does not pose him one inquiry about the crossing point among him and Aliyah and Robert Kelly? This is crazy that individuals keep declining to see common decency there, assuming that the Me development was genuine. Why aren't they talking currently? They've too been extremely tranquil in this season of the Diddler destruction, and Jaguar Wright has been attempting to inform us regarding how obscure, furthermore, tricky Jay-Z is for quite a while also. It appears as though we are at long last finding all that she's been saying. The insane part is that Jay-Z affirmed had a profound knowledge of Earl's wrongdoings before the federal authorities found out. However, he remained right alongside him and watched it work out without doing or expressing anything to stop it, like how R. Kelly faked lawful archives to blemish Aya when she was simply 15 and he was 27. Not in the least did Jay-Z know how this worked out, yet he then went after Aliyah and attempted to get her for himself. Then he supposedly got pungent and purportedly Part in unliving her at the point when she turned him down. However, what all this implies is that Jay-Z has a long, lengthy history of tossing his best pals to the wolves to ease the pressure off of himself when the federal authorities come bringing in, as per Diddy's mother Janix. Jay-Z did likewise to Diddy. Janice is over here guaranteeing that Jay-Z was the one supposedly beginning this wreck that her child is at present in. And as per her, he was the person who went to the federal authorities with some data that Diddy told her in private, and that is the means by which this all began. Janice is guaranteeing that Diddy financed Cassie and the wide range of various claims, and it was every one of the pieces of J. Vital Floyd to bring Diddy down and toss him to the wolves presently, as indicated by Janice. This is the main clarification for why individuals fired opposing Diddy later 30 years in the woodworks. She accepts that Jay-Z purportedly paid individuals to make up lies against Diddy to support the case and aggravate Diddy. Janice, as of late, ended her quietness on this, and she made an announcement that said, "I come to you today as a mother that is crushed and significantly disheartened by the charges made against my child. Sean Combs, it is lamentable to see my child judged not for reality, but rather for a story made out of misleads. Give testimony is by all accounts like a public lynching of my child before he has the valuable chance to defend himself, is an aggravation too terrible to even think about placing into words like each person. My child has the right to have his day in court to at last offer his side and endorse his blamelessness." She proceeded with, "Haven't arrived to depict my child as amazing on the grounds that he is not. He has committed errors in that frame of mind as we as a whole have. My child might not have been altogether honest about specific things, for example, denying he has at any point gotten with an ex-girlfriend when the in reconnaissance showed in any case, at times reality and a falsehood become so intently interlaced that it becomes frightening to concede one piece of the story particularly, when that reality is outside the standard or is too confounded to even consider being accepted to this end. I trust my child's common legitimate group selected to settle the ex's claim rather than Charlie. Ending it until the end coming about in a kickback impact as the government utilized this ruling against my child by deciphering it as an affirmation of responsibility. Yet it's sort of wild how she's attempting to gaslight us about Diddy not being liable and putting hands on Cassie, when there's strict video proof of him mistreating her in an in-corridor that as well as did him owned up to putting hands on her, discussing how he was sickened at the individual that he was in those depths. As yet, Janice is over here asserting that him selling the claim following one day isn't a confirmation of responsibility. Well, the proclamation preceded with it is essential to perceive that not a solitary one of us, no matter what our status, are safe to dread, or errors not being altogether direct around one issue doesn't mean my child is at fault for the shocking charges and the grave charges evened out against him. Numerous in people who were improperly indicted and later excused had their immunity taken from them not on the grounds that they were at legitimate fault for the wrongdoings they were blamed for, but since they didn't fit the picture of what the general public considers to be a decent individual. History has showed us the number of people that can be unjustly sentenced because of their past activities or errors. The assertion moreover said, watching the world make jokes and giggle at my child's life disintegrating previously, our eyes is something I can always remember watch. The world is genuinely anguishing betray my child so rapidly and effectively over falsehoods and misguided judgments while never hearing his side or managing the cost of him. The chance to introduce his side these untruths toss at him are spurred by those looking for of monetary acquire and not equity. These people perceived how rapidly my child's thoughtful, lawful group settled his ex's claim, so they accept they can get a speedy payday by erroneously blaming my child, so it appears as thou. Janice is persuaded that everyone is lying against her child and is attempting to bring him down for cash that was purportedly paid out to them by Jay-Z to bring her child down. At least that is what the roads are talking about, however. That is not all, since she too blamed the federal authorities for lying against Diddy, furthermore, going on a witch chase against him, stripping him of his nobility in the process. She said misleading charges of impede valid for SUV from getting the equity they have the right. To make matters more regrettable, the central government is presently utilizing these misleads to indict my child. This torture has been excruciating for our family. The most exceedingly awful piece of this difficulty is watching my darling child be stripped of his pride, not for what he did but rather for what individuals decide to understand regarding him. She then, at that point, requested that individuals quit coming after her priceless young man, saying, "I ask allies, fans, partners, and companions." Also, general society should not pass judgment on him previously. You've gotten the opportunity to hear his side. I implore you to contemplate the individuals who have been wrongly aggrieved, to recollect that not every person who has committed errors in life has the right to have their whole presence decided by a solitary activity or a hardly any slip-ups, my child. Subscribe Apple World for more videos.